All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's 3 o'clock, calling the meeting to order. Mauricio?
Commissioner Stuyvesant, Commissioner Lamo,
Here.
Commissioner Joseph,
Present.
Vice Mayor Vizcarra,
Here.
Mayor Svechin.
Here.
All members present.
Great, thank you. Right?
Okay.
On to special presentation.
The first item that we have is a special presentation, a proclamation issued on behalf of the school resource officer. And I'll read the proclamation. It says, whereas the city of Sunny Isles Beach is dedicated to making schools and children safer by providing the highest quality training to school-based law enforcement officers, and whereas school resource officers bridge gaps between youth and law enforcement by providing informal counseling, education, and law enforcement roles to support the students and communities they serve, and whereas by training law enforcement officers to counsel, educate, and protect school communities, these men and women continuously lead by example and promote a positive image of law enforcement to school children and school communities. And whereas SRO programs across the globe are founded as a collaborative effort by police agencies, law enforcement officers, educators, students, parents, and communities to create safe learning environments, providing valuable resources to school staff members, foster positive relationships with students, and develop strategies to resolve problems that affect youth with the goal of protecting all children so they can reach their fullest potential. And whereas school resource officers are valuable and essential members of the education community and deserve unwavering respect and support from the public of the pursuit of keeping schools and safe students. Now, whereas I, Larissa Svechin, as mayor, and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, hereby proclaim February 15th, 2026 as School Resource Officers Day. Unfortunately, our SRO wasn't able to be here, obviously because school is out and in session right now, but this will be presented to them later this week.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Yep. Now, the next one is a proclamation issued for Government Communicators Day. And if we can have the SIB media team come up.
Who's going to read the proclamation?
And I'll read the proclamation right now. Proclamation reads, whereas the role of government communications professions is to inform, educate, and engage their communities, whereas robust communication in government creates trust and inspires residents to take action and be involved, and whereas government communications create relationships, calls to action, build awareness and understanding through storytelling, engage and foster engagement on civic issues, and use all channels to include people in critical decisions. Whereas it is essential to have strong communications in government because it is a foundational element of living in a democracy where citizens have the freedom to make their voices heard. And whereas the City of Sunny Isles Beach is proud and has a deep gratitude and recognition for government communicators' professionalism, dedication, hard work, commitment, enthusiasm, and sacrifice. And whereas I, Larissa Svechin, as mayor and on behalf of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, hereby proclaim February 20th, 2026 as Government Communicators Day.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. We're going to take a picture. Who's going to take the picture if you guys are? All right. Do you want us to come down or do you want us to stand behind here? Okay. Okay. We have the manager in the. Huh? Yeah.
Hold on, not yet.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good job, guys.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let me. All right, next item, please. Discussion items.
Okay, Mayor, just before we continue, I failed to mention what were some of the changes to the agenda.
Okay.
So we're adding on 3N, which is an update on the IPAL agreements for
Okay.
discussion. And then we are deferring 3J.
3J is deferred. All right, so 3N, unless I have any sort of, anyone has an issue, we're going to do that one first, since she's here. Yes? All right, so
Yes.
we'll, yeah, so that way you don't have to wait and,
Thank you.
yes, okay. We're going to let him read it first and then,
3N is an update on the IPAL agreements.
thank you.
Am I good?
Yes.
First of all, thank you, everyone. Nice to see everyone. Officially, a lot of you for the first time. So, hi. My name is Danny Bonini. I'm the executive director for your IPAL, Intercoastal Police Athletic League. So, Commissioner Vizcarra, thank you for placing us on the agenda and for your support for this program. You have been championing this program from, I think, the first time I met you 4 years ago. So it's been a really long time coming. This is a two-city joint effort between Sunny Isles and the city of Aventura to create a youth center program that engages teens through educational, athletic, and recreational initiatives. We will be providing the following: volleyball, basketball, boxing, and our mentorship program, which is committed to building trust and fostering mutual understanding among law enforcement, community leaders, and our youth while helping shape them into tomorrow's leaders. First of all, I have to say that in the last 2 years specifically, we've been at this for 3, but in the last 2, I've had the immense pleasure to work with your staff. You guys have the most unbelievable staff. I just want you guys to know that. And I hope that the residents of Sunny Isles know that they have the most incredible people working for them. Everyone from the city manager to the attorneys to the assistant city manager who I've met with several times, and Parks and Recs and police, and of course Chief Santiago. They're amazing, and they go above and beyond, and they work after hours, and they don't care. They're so passionate about everything they do, and it's just been so great, and I look forward to working with all of you. But you guys have the best staff. I just have to say that.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Commissioner Vizcarra, do you have anything you wanted to add for the discussion?
Well,
Vice Mayor, sorry.
yeah, you demoted and you also.
I am
came-
sorry, Vice Mayor, Vice Mayor.
It's fine. So, yes, this actually is something that started pre-COVID. And then obviously COVID derailed everything and reprioritized everything. And I was thinking something small, right? And then when we gave the direction and Chief Santiago came back with a two-city program, that was much better and bigger than anything I had imagined. And so with the joint effort, it really has come together. And originally, like other police athletic leagues, we intended for the programs to be free of charge. But we're actually charging by just a little bit. And I was hoping that you could speak to that, because that is a difference from the original message.
Yes. So this initiative was started with the late Michael Stern. So this is really his legacy, and I'm just here to make sure that it happens. And one of the reasons that he felt we needed to charge at least a minimal fee is because there needs to be buy-in from the parents. It can't be like an after-school program that's free for them to just drop off their kids. We wanted them to buy into what we are and what the initiative is, but also because we don't want to come back to the cities and ask for money. We want to be self-reliant and be able to give the best, the best program in South Florida. That's really the goal eventually at some point. So.
How many kids is it open to? What's the limit?
So each program has the capacity for volleyball and basketball is 35 right now. For boxing, it's 15. We have 2 classes, 2 different age ranges for 15 kids max. Hopefully next year we'll have bigger, when we have a bigger space. And the mentorship program is actually a component that's free. And it goes together with any kid that wants to participate in the athletic portion of it comes to our mentorship program, which is really big because that's the initiative that's going to help them get to know themselves and get to be more involved with the community.
And how much is the
So $50 for boxing and $65 for volleyball and basketball. And it runs from March until May.
Oh,
But the boxing is monthly.
All of them is monthly, but yeah,
Right.
it runs from March till May, and then you have to re-sign again. We'll figure out the schedule for the summer, and then we'll figure out the schedule for the fall, but it goes in that fall, spring, summer.
So I believe that for boxing and jiu-jitsu, that will take place in Aventura.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the
At
basketball.
the spot.
And the kids mix together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
you're gonna
the point.
have
So
only,
we'll-
and it's only for residents.
Okay,
I know that
perfect.
that's been a big
Yes.
push from both cities. It is only for residents. It's not open
Sure.
to the outside.
Perfect.
And the other part of paying a small fee, because think about like $50 for twice a week for a month.
Right.
It's still very,
Reasonable.
very, very reasonable.
Well,
But-
also because we want to make sure, so because we are closing it to only residents, that hinders us a little bit with the grant, with going out for grants. Not to say that we won't be able to, I'm going to do my best to get them, but it does hinder us by not having it open. So because of that, we also felt that we needed to charge just a small fee.
But also we're not relying on volunteer coaches.
No, we're not. We're paying. So we're paying the coaches for Sunny Isles, and we're paying. We have actual police officers who are teaching the boxing / jiu-jitsu in Aventura.
Are you able to take donations from the
Absolutely,
community?
we will. We
Okay.
are a 501c3, so we will take
Perfect.
donations. But we don't want to be reliant on the cities. We want to be reliant on ourselves. So that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it.
And that'll be a separate push, but yeah, it'll come.
Okay, yeah, that's wonderful. I'll make the first donation of $500.
Ah, thank you so much.
Okay.
We'll reach out to you.
And how many participants do you have currently?
We just opened, so I don't know how many. I have to ask Nick. Because actually, just so you folks know, Sunny Isles is actually doing us the favor of having all the registration go through you guys. So you guys are doing all of that. So I'll find out from Nick, and I'll send an email and let you guys know.
Perfect.
Amazing. It's so cool, finally.
Finally.
Fine.
It
It only
some
took
doing.
4 years, but finally,
It took
yes.
some doing. And this was independent, like Michael Stern was thinking for Aventura.
So when I met you, you told me about it, and you said, I want to start something like this, because I come from Miami Beach, pal. And she said, I would love to talk to you about this. I'm really interested. And then when I joined the police committee with Michael Stern, he's like, you know what? I really think we can do this. I think that the kids really need this. And then all of a sudden, he spoke to the chief. Our chief spoke to your chief. And it just kind of got the ball rolling. In fact, we were supposed to be a 3-city
Right, yeah, but we don't talk
and-
about that.
we don't talk about that. There's another city that was supposed to be part of it, but pulled out. So
That's
it's not our-
fine. Okay. This is great. Okay.
We're live. Registration is,
Yeah, we're
is
live.
happening already.
We are live.
So get the word out and
And I'll
let's
be
brace
back
for
whenever you
success.
folks want me back to give you reports.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Next item.
Good job.
Next item is 3A, 2026 Holiday Lights Decoration.
Okay, this is a discussion item that I had put on, but I'm sure everybody actually wants to talk about this. So we've discussed this a little bit jokingly in the past about how this is really one of the most important things to the residents, the holiday lighting. And I figured that maybe this year, rather than wait until after the budget's already approved, while it's still fresh in our minds, we could talk about what we considered worked, didn't work, what we'd like to change to give the staff a little bit of direction when they're putting together the budget for the holiday lighting, because the feedback that I got was actually mixed from the residents, but overall, overwhelmingly, people loved it. They think that we are the best lit city all around. But I wanted to hear what everyone else wants to say, and really it's about how much we want to spend. So who would like to start? Commissioner Joseph?
Well,
I know you have strong feelings about it. Well, everybody I think has strong feelings.
no, I think our decorations this year were really superb. We still have to work with FPL to get on Sunny Isles Boulevard on the north side of Gateway. Those lights are still not working. Is that correct, Stan?
The holiday lights weren't working?
No, we didn't have power. Is that correct?
It's resolved.
On one side of Gateway?
It's resolved now,
Oh,
but
it
we
is
did have an
resolved?
issue, yes,
Yeah.
briefly.
Oh, great. So now, okay, so that's working now. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So the only other issue we had was with the nativity scene. So this coming year, we're going to have full nativity scenes like other cities.
Well, that's what I want to talk about,
yes.
is to make sure that we're in agreement.
Yes, we've already, I've spoken with Stan about it. This year, because it was a spur of the moment, we had several residents voice their concern that there was no nativity scene where other cities did have it. We were only able to obtain small ones.
All right, so you're in support of getting more,
Yes.
Okay.
Larger nativity scenes
okay?
to mix with the other symbols that we have.
Anyone else about that? Or,
I completely disagree.
okay,
So,
okay.
I also, I had very strong feelings about the nativity scenes, but I think, because we spoke about it, and I believe it was a budget, I think it was a budget meeting, and Commissioner Stuyvesant actually brought up the nativity scene, and we said, no, and you were on the phone, so you were invisible, you were a voice in the room. You remember that?
Oh,
And
I was still there.
You were there, but you
Something.
were,
Yeah, okay.
So before we get to I don't think we talked about it in that meeting. There's case law about it, and I think we've learned that just because other cities do it doesn't mean that it's legal or that it's right. And I would like us to start making decisions. First ask if it's legal, and then have the conversation. Because if the answer is no, conversation's over. But when we start asking questions like, yeah, but what's the consequence? Yeah, but who will complain? Yeah, but who's going to notice? That's not the right spirit of governance. Like, we start by following the law, and then we make decisions. And so, for me, that's not something I didn't support it then, and I'm not going to support it in the future.
Oh.
Because it's a constitutional issue, and we can't go into the whole lecture about it. Some symbols are okay, some symbols are not. We don't get to decide what's okay. That's told to us by the Supreme Court. So we need to follow that. And other cities may not, and no, nothing catches fire, and it makes people happy. But as a matter of governance, we need to start by following the law. And I don't think we did that this year. I'm speaking, Jerry. I'll let you speak when I'm done. As a matter of, please, Jerry. In terms of the lights, I think what happened is we were trying to be inclusive and sensitive, and wanting to make sure that the Jewish community felt included and seen, and I think we did that. But as you may have gotten some emails, and I've had other conversations, it's about the balance of interests. And I think that in our effort, our well-intentioned efforts to make sure that we addressed one part of the community, we did it to the exclusion of others. And I know that because we got the emails, and people felt left out. And this is where I have to give Commissioner Stuyvesant the credit, because she called it that meeting, which I think was a budget meeting. Mm-hmm. And it was like, well, no, we'll see. And we did see. And people didn't like it. Some people may have liked it. But we can't have some people liking and other people hating. Because then what we end up doing is breeding resentment. And then we're working against the intention of all of this, which is to make people feel included. So I think that we need to go back to the center, and not just in terms of the lights, but everything. So let staff do the job and have something like a formula, right? A menorah for every Christmas tree, a dreidel for every Christmas ornament or whatever. And everything else, make it generic, things that everybody does. Presents. As I drove through different cities, you saw, we may not like it, but whatever, we'll choose. Like, snowflakes is a thing, right? That's not for any particular group. Reindeer, ribbons, those can be colorful, they can be pretty, but they're not feeling one group. They're not making people feel like, oh, they are being seen, they are getting preferential treatment, and what about us? Because that's the question that I was hearing, what about us? And so then we're not doing our job. So I think we need to come back to the center, do things in a balanced way. We were not balancing the interests properly, again, with the best of intentions. So I think we need to come back to the center, do things generically and with respect to acknowledging the two big groups, which is, Christmas and Hanukkah, then we acknowledge those, but we acknowledge them equally in one big event, not multiple events, because then, well, where is the church event? One event, one big park lighting. We light the menorah, we light the menorah, we light the Christmas tree, we light the park. Everybody's welcome, and that's it. I think that's where we need to be, because otherwise, other members of the community, I'm telling you, because like they're feeling upset. They're feeling not seen. Mm-hmm. And they're saying, well, where is ours? And you guys know, like my analogy of the hammers, right? When you don't hand out hammers, you don't then start, with a kid running around in the playground with a hammer. You don't balance it by giving out more hammers. You balance it by taking away the thing that's the disruptive thing. So I think that our good intentions became disruptive. So we need to bring it back to the center. And I would say, if you want more lights or whatever, we can do that. We can talk about the budget, but we need to do it in a balanced way.
Okay.
And in an equal way.
But just so that, and I do want to continue this kind of conversation, but I also meant it also for the point of view of how much to spend.
I have no idea.
Meaning like consistent with what we did this year.
What's the number?
I don't know the number.
Okay, I don't know the number either, so it's hard to talk about.
Well, whatever it is, it's going to be higher.
Okay, so this year we spent $279,180 and $279,180. And this, we have to go out to bid this year, which is why we appreciate this conversation, so we could have some direction as to what we want to do. We can set a dollar figure, but we still need to give them some design guidelines for their presentation.
Okay. All right. Who's next? Commissioner Stewison?
Sure. So I spoke about this. I'm just coming out of a cold, so I have a funny voice. But I spoke about this in the workshop of January 2025, in the commission meeting of March 2025, in the workshop of April 2025, and again in the workshop of July 2025. Every time I was told that no, that we cannot make an activity, that we are not going to do an activity, and everybody's happy the way we are doing things, and blah, 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 okay? Clearly, it was not real. We received the emails. Those emails apparently were sent the previous year. And we went out and got something to make certain group of our residents happy, because those are influential people, that they have money, and they were writing directly to part of the staff. And we completely gaslight and BS them, telling them that we didn't know about their requests or that the people felt left out. When I say in those 4 meetings previously, I went over and over and over, and the commission voted against, even during the budget. So those are the transcripts out there. When I had the time, I'm going to give you the exact quotes of everybody. So yes, we knew about this. And yes, the commission, and sadly I'm part of it, decided not to do anything about it until, like I said, influential residents voiced their concerns. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but then we BS them, saying we didn't know. So, well, yes, we knew. And yes, we decided not to do anything. Why would I repeat myself? You know, when you go down the street on Collins Avenue, you see the beautiful nativity that Bal Harbour is doing. We want to always be better and have more than all our neighboring communities and residents, and apparently we are in a constant competition with them. So yeah, ours should be better and bigger.
Okay, so just so that we know, you're for an activity, but also for consistent with how much we've spent this year for the lights.
But clearly, I am always looking for money. That's why I voted against the budget for 3 times in a row. Okay, so yeah, we should be doing a better job finding better prices for what we are doing. $300,000 in the just in lights is the budget, the entire budget of small cities in this country. So yeah,
So
I think we need to be careful how we spend the money.
Okay. Is that enough direction, Susan?
It would be great if we had a ballpark number so that when we go out to bid, that's one of the questions that they always ask us is
Okay.
what we want that budget to be.
All right, let's let
Understanding that would
Commissioner
mean
Lama
scaling
go,
back.
and then we'll kind of get to that point so that we can go to the next item.
Okay. So yeah, I think we need to be able to represent the bigger, both of the bigger communities. We should represent Christmas and Hanukkah equally, okay? And I think it all starts with the color palette. You know, when you're driving down the causeway or you're coming in from 163rd, all the palm trees are blue and white. I think that should be a mix, okay? We should start looking at a 50-50 ratio where it is mixed better, the color palette is used smarter, okay? Also, even like the Christmas decorations, they were silver. They had this white tone to them. So I think we should start integrating red and green into the decorations. I hardly saw any red and green in the decorations. So whoever comes in and bids and wins the bid, when we go out there and we give them the RFP, we should be very clear on, you know, the design parameters, okay? Regarding the nativity scene, we could discuss. I don't know what symbols are okay, they're not okay. I believe the menorah is okay, right? The menorah is okay? All right, so the nativity scene is not okay, Christmas tree is okay. Yes, city attorney.
A little bit delicate because we've already done it. I was not consulted this year with regards to the nativity scene, so I did not opine on that. Since we've already done it, I'm a little reluctant to say publicly what is or is not permissible, but typically, I can say menorahs. Clearly, the holidays surround religious ideologies, right? Christmas is obviously based on a religion, and so
Correct.
is Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Supreme Court has deemed certain symbols to be secular for the last, a Christmas tree is not necessarily religious. Right?
It's secular.
The menorah is not considered religious.
Okay.
Nativity scenes has traditionally been, just like a crucifix, deemed religious.
Okay.
And a lot of the litigation, a lot of the Supreme Court cases deal strictly with like the Ten Commandments, with nativity scenes, and with crucifixes. It's something we should discuss and you should consider correctly, as the Vice Mayor said. Just because another city does it doesn't necessarily mean it's okay. But I can address that individually with you all. I'm reluctant to say it publicly one way or the other because, again, this is something we've already done. It's not something that's prospective necessarily. So I wouldn't want to say anything that would put the city in a tough spot. But there are constitutional considerations. Okay. And then even beyond that, even if it becomes permissible, you may be opening a door you don't want to. And I'm not going to I can individually tell you what some of the jurisdictions have dealt with, and I don't want to say it publicly, but it's something you should be aware of because you don't want that door opening here as well. Yeah.
So well, I think we could discuss that. We could discuss that offline. I think the main idea is that we need to obviously celebrate the holidays. And we need to be inclusive. Obviously, you know, we have a big Jewish population here, big Christian population, but there's other populations as well. So, you know, even if they're not, you know, big in size, I think that when we put together something for the holidays, I think it all stems from the color palette and how we combine those colors. So whoever comes in here and does the holiday decorations, the holiday decorations, you know, needs to keep that in mind, and we need to be very clear in what we want from them.
All right, so to give the...
And I'd like to see some mock-ups. I mean, I know we saw mock-ups. but I'd like to see maybe some sort of mock-up where it could, now with AI and with all these technologies, maybe see some sort of mock-up where it will actually take us, through the city in some sort of video fashion,
Is
where
that
we
something
could-
that could be part of the RFP, Susan? Or is that,
That they submit a mock-up?
Yeah.
Yes.
all right, so you need a dollar amount.
Okay, but 1 second, but if may I?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Because actually we pay for the color package. So we were supposed to have colorful gift and all of that. And we didn't get them because the colors, the gift were outside my house in the Intercoastal Park, and they were white.
And
So
that-
that's what I say. They gave us a mock-up. I remember clearly. And they have like little gift boxes on top of each other, which they were big, of course. Again, they were supposed to be colorful. We pay extra for that. And we didn't get that. I'm telling you because that's outside my home. So I was seeing that every day when I was coming in and out. So my point is that even if we're getting that, if we pay for it, we didn't get it. And I cannot. We should not be continuing extending the conversation that, like I said, we had in 4 different occasions last year, and we're having it again right now. And privately, to the residents that they are clearly not watching these meetings, we are telling you, yes, we are doing anything and everything to make sure that your guys are going to be part of the conversation and that it's going to be inclusive and you are going to be represented. And right now here we are saying that we are not and that we need more information. So we cannot go out to bid without putting the nativity scene as part of it. What else do we need? And again, if not, then we are totally lying to the residents who receive those emails saying that, oh, yes, we are doing it. So we can have it both
I'm okay with the
ways.
nativity scene. I mean, I just
Totally,
want
me
to-
too.
All right, so let's,
And Jerry is okay, so there is consensus.
all right, let's then, dollar amount. What do you need from us? An actual, 250, I'm okay with 250-ish, less than that. I mean, I don't want it to be obviously a lot, less than last year. But to Commissioner Stevenson point, if there's any way to find savings, because what I was hearing is when I was saying to residents, we have lots of Christmas trees. They're inside Pelican. They're inside Gateway. Their response was, "Well, I don't see those. I see
Well, you
what's
don't
on,
see it from the street. That's
they
the thing.
they were like, I see what's on the street. I want to see on the street more decorations.
Yeah, but that's
so if
not
there's a
realistic.
And
way.
the colors need to be different
Well,
too.
that
We
too,
cannot
but I'm
have
saying,
silver and white.
What I'm saying is the trees that we had inside, to Vice Mayor's point about Commissioner Stevenson requesting the additional Christmas tree at Sampson, the people at Winston Towers were very happy about that. The Jewish people, actually.
Yeah, but you know what? They were not happy about that little ball that was put also in Samson Park with the nativity scene. That was ridiculous. To
Well,
put
I
that
didn't see it, but my.
There was a little ball with a nativity scene in Samson Park.
Because it was a last-minute thing this year.
No, it was not. I've been saying since January last year. It was a decision that was made with conscience not to add it.
Okay.
And when our residents that they are influenced start sending those emails, that's when we, and I'm going to say we as a body, not me particularly, go ahead and answer them back, oh, we didn't know about this. We didn't know that you wanted to have it. That's not true. That's what I say. We're gaslighting the people because they are not paying attention. And we cannot continue doing that knowingly.
All right. So what additional information do you need from us, Susan? You need an actual dollar amount. So if I can get each one to kind of, it was 279, let's just say 280, right?
The same.
Same. Vice Mayor?
I would be inclined to lower it. I would be inclined to lower
Okay.
it. So I would like to be lower.
Lower, okay.
No more than $200,000. I think that's a lot still.
200, okay.
Yeah, for a 1.5 square mile city. And we own a lot of stuff,
All
correct?
right, let's let
We don't
Commissioner.
own
We don't
anything?
own anything.
No, the items that we owned are no longer, they've extended their useful life.
Yeah.
But we did own stuff.
We did own, actually, we do own some dreidels. I think
well, we should see
10
an inventory
dreidels.
even before going out to bid, or what is it that we have and how is it being
It's
taken
only the
care of?
dreidels that we just purchased last year. Colin, is
But
that 7,
We had the
10?
snowflakes as well.
The snowflakes we've repaired
Expired?
them
Okay.
already, and they are no longer worth repairing.
All right.
But we need an inventory of that and how much we spend, because then maybe it doesn't make any sense to buy them. Because I know about the gift that were outside Intracoastal Park because of the wind tunnels over there. They were being replaced continuously and they've been destroyed.
It does not pay to buy them.
Ex-
Correct.
To my
We also
point.
don't have
To
storage.
my point, so better maybe just not to buy them and to rent them, because if we're going to be buying them thinking that we're going to be using them for 5, 6, or 10 years, and they during the first year they get destroyed, so maybe we need to reconsider what we're doing.
Yeah. So, Commissioner Joseph?
Yes. So
The
we're
amount.
going out for bidding to a new company, right?
We're going
Several
out to bid.
companies.
The
Yeah,
same
bid.
company could bid for all we know.
Right, same
yes.
company could bid. So, yeah, I would say around 250 or less. Let's have a 250 cap, but like Commissioner Lama was speaking, I'd like to see reds and greens this year.
Okay,
Well, but
so,
sorry,
No, go
but
ahead.
what happens is you usually have to get it for several years, and that's what happened with the blue and white. People started conflating it with the pro-Israel sentiment, but really it was 5 years ago, and we went with something wintry, and then people started once October 7th happened, people started seeing it as something else. So know that saying blue and green, I'm sorry, blue and green. Let's do blue and green. Saying green and red for this year is probably not it. It's like it's going to be a multi-year.
Well, yeah, I meant
Okay.
multi-year.
Oh, okay.
No, because the bid is, anyway, what is it, a 5-year bid? Or 3-year?
it's typically a 2-year initial term with 3 1-year renewals for a total
Okay.
of 5.
Yeah, so I didn't mean just this year.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I just want to recap
Yes.
because we have to formulate a bid. Our budget will be between 200 and 250. The priority is what's visible from Collins Avenue. So currently we're doing 5 or 6 parks worth. We will likely have to scale that back. So can I get a sentiment that we're looking to only do perhaps the larger parks, Heritage along Collins, Sampson, and Gateway as a priority? Something's going to have to give, because if what
No,
you got
I
last
know,
year was
like-
280 and we want to go down, I just want to know where the focus is. And then, as Commissioner Lama said, equal. So if I have 5 Christmas trees, I have 5 menorahs.
Right. If there could be, as far as I'm concerned, some sort of formula, like to Vice Mayor's point of, this, that. I don't know what that formula looks like, if it's number or size or, square footage or whatever it is. But for me personally, whatever has the most visibility and has the most,
Bang for your
traffic, right? Like, so for instance, Sampson for me and Town Center would probably have to be really something that we consider the focal point.
Okay, and what about interior? Because currently they do Gateway inside the lobbies of Gateway, Pelican, Government Center.
I don't know what is the percentage of the budget is that, you know?
It's not huge, but it is a part of it. So when something has to give, I just want to be able to give a framework of what the priorities are.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Why don't we keep the budget the same? I mean, it's the holidays. I mean, we're going to be saving, what, $30,000, $40,000? I know we need to, be mindful, but
I think the more the message is to really just look at it in with a closer eye. I think that's what it is.
Also, what's the point of having a white Christmas tree in City Hall? It's just like it defeats the purpose.
the what, I'm sorry?
A white Christmas tree in City Hall. It's just,
I have a Christmas tree on you, so we can.
I think,
No.
look, Deputy Manager, I
It's
think
green.
that if we can just make it very clear to whomever is bidding that we are trying to tighten our belt and we want to make sure that we're getting the biggest bang for our buck. And, you do the magic.
I don't even think it's necessary to say that. I think it's just a matter of the negotiating.
No, I understand that, but
I mean, that's not,
it's,
what we're talking about here is not how you negotiate anything
That's not
in
what
any
that's not
regard.
what I mean. I'm talking about the fact that to Commissioner Lama's point about it's the holidays, we want to be able to make it as festive as possible, but I want to make sure that everyone else is heard as well, that we don't want to, this is not just an open checkbook.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I like all the
if we
Christmas
have-
trees.
If we have a
so-
250,000 number, we're not going to go in and tell this company, well, let's start at 250, because they're going to drag
Right.
us higher. So it's just not the way it's done anyway.
That's
How
assuming
we're
they're not
discussing
watching
it
the
here.
meeting.
Right, okay. All right. I think you have, this is.
I do, thank you.
This is good. This is the first time we're doing it like this, so hopefully it's going to have, positive results. All right, the next item, Mauricio.
Next item is 3B, discussion regarding parking licenses and fees.
Okay, this is my discussion item. We've talked about this in the past on and off, but I wanted to bring it in front of the commission to get more input from everybody. There's a few things that I personally would like to discuss, but then you all obviously are free to add in your items. One is the cost that we are charging for the various parking lots. I know that we talked in the past about making the rates a little bit higher so they be more consistent with what Miami Beach is doing in places where we have more visitors rather than residents. We talked about residents having a much lower fee. I think at one point we actually even said that perhaps they don't even pay for parking. What I'd like is an inventory of what we have, how much we're making. It's the real estate is expensive, so I want to make sure that we're making as much as we can on those parking fees. And then the other item was for the, I don't know if it's Park Mobile, what do we use?
Pay by phone.
Pay by phone. Apparently, currently in various areas, there is not an option to add minutes. You have to add either like an hour or 2 hours. So I don't know how those apps work.
I think ours may be an increment of 15 minutes, but I will check.
If we can, please, just to make it,
And are you looking to have it be by a 10, 15 minute, or are you looking for a hour type of?
15 minutes, I think, is reasonable. I know that they all have reminders, but if it's an app, so it shouldn't cost anything to add that on there. But really about like how much we're charging for long-term parking, the deals that we have with the various buildings. This is probably one of the biggest conversations that we have on a regular basis with various buildings, is that they don't have enough parking and that residents don't have enough parking. No one has enough parking. But I want to make sure that our residents, and I think I have consensus, but I'd like to hear from everybody, that they either, pay the lowest fees for the street parking, or I would love to see that, residents don't even pay parking at all, as long as they have a decal. But what does everyone else think? Commissioner Lama?
I like the idea of residents not paying for parking and maybe increasing our rates for people that come from the outside. The only thing, though, my only question would be if you have residents that have like 5 cars, right? And they're using the parking spaces to just basically park their cars
Right.
at those spaces that are free. Because there is some condominiums, there's places where there is an issue with parking. And I know that some residents pay the monthly rate that we charge.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, that's why I asked if we can get a report of, how many people are buying monthly passes, how many buildings have long-term contracts with us, how much money are we making, for instance, at Gateway, when the elderly come for the events, for the Zumba or whatever, they're paying for parking, correct?
No, I believe we give them a pass.
They get a
if
pass.
they register for the program, they're free for that time
Okay, so
period.
that's good, at
Correct.
least. So that's, that's the kind of information I'd like to have, so that if, and then maybe where we can because we did talk about adding pay by phone along the street.
On interior roads?
Right, we did talk about that, I remember. That's something that could be very useful if, if we determine that it is a good source of revenue, which I believe it is, but again, finding a way, and I know it's challenging, to give the benefit to our residents. But to Commissioner Lama's point, if you have 5 cars, you're not using it to park your car. All 5, rather.
Yeah, the issue is that, let's say you have 5 cars and then you have a car that perhaps they just have the decal and they just park their car there and they're taking up the space because they have so many cars. So I think the main point here is that there's no abuse to it, so we got to be very careful.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea. I mean, we're the residents here, we pay taxes, we live here, so we should have that, free benefit for sure.
But how do you feel about increasing the parking rates for like the beach access or the long-term parking?
I'll have to see I don't know what the rates are right now.
The reason I even bring it up is that I was told that one of the condos, and I don't know if this is accurate, but it sounds about right, that if you want to add parking, that it's upwards of $5,000 a month to get an additional parking space.
Condos?
Yes. So,
A month?
Yes.
No, in my building.
My point is that are we? I'm not talking about your building. My point is that I'd like for us to really look at what we're charging in parking fees, so that I'm not saying to bring it up to that. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that we need to evaluate that it's a commodity at this point. So
I've always thought that the spaces that we rent, I believe, to hotels or like, I would assume that the hotel is charging a parking fee. Right. And it's probably a nice fee.
Yeah.
Right. So I think for buildings, I understand if the garage is under construction, I think that's different. But if you built a building and you didn't plan properly and you don't have enough parking and you have to get it from us, why should we give it to you cheaply? Right. So that's where I would look at increasing fees.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, for instance, I know that
not
there's
necessarily the person coming to go to the beach.
No, well,
not necessarily.
I think that could be $20. I mean, depends, but that as well, because I can tell you, like, for instance, okay, so the valet parking, I don't know who's got deals with us. So if you go to some buildings, the valet parking is $30, $40, a shot. How much are they paying us?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right, exactly. I'm in agreement with you.
So if may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we could request to everyone who has an agreement that we are renting them space, especially under the causeway, request from them to give us a memo letting us know if they are selling or renting in a monthly basis to the residents and for how much. Mm-hmm. Then, again, if we are renting to 5 buildings or 7 or 10 or 1, we will get from them specifically what is and how they are managing those extra spaces. Either they're using it for their own valet and not charging others than whatever valet rate is, or if they're renting for those big amounts to the residents. So anyway, we can finish that contract whenever we want, so they should be transparent about it.
Okay, Commissioner Joseph?
So if we have a concert, we always charge for parking?
No, I think those are free. Whenever we have an event, it's suspended.
Yeah.
Event parking is free. Yeah.
And we should also do it during elections. I think we addressed that already, right?
I think it's free during election.
Well, some campaign workers got tickets.
Oh, a gateway?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't election day. Maybe it was like when it was something where they were there working, and I guess it got fixed. But we should address that also. No, I had something else I wanted to. I don't remember now.
May I?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so the rate for the parking lot behind Walgreens is $4.50 per hour, and for 2 hours is $8.50.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, I think that's pretty high right now. I mean, I've gone and parked in Fort Lauderdale and other cities, and I don't think it's that expensive.
No, I think Miami Beach, you park Miami Beach for
Well, I
2
haven't
minutes
been
and
to
it's
Miami
$20.
Yeah, I haven't been to Miami Beach in a while.
I think it
so.
needs to be consistent with
Like
whatever.
a pay by phone, like a
Yeah,
parking
I think it
meter?
needs to be whatever, I would say that whatever Miami Beach is doing is probably, because we've
Well-
become, especially you saw the report from IBIS, if people are coming into our city and they're using our, I know it's everybody's beach, but we keep it beautiful and clean, then, there's a premium attached to it. And that's why I'm saying for residents, if they're going to go park there to go to the beach, it should be either free or heavily discounted. But if you're visiting, I'm for a flat fee so that, you could have like a whatever that is for the beach.
Well, I think we could discuss offline.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I would like to get a report from the staff to give us a sense of how much we're actually making.
So, it's interesting you said flat fee. We can determine how much turnover there is in a space and things like that. Sometimes you want more turnover in a space, so a flat fee is not always the best way to go, but our parking app can give us some statistics that I think would be helpful for all of you, so we'll get that to you.
And you could adjust that
Right. And that's
depending on festivities, holidays, etc.
Right.
No, currently residents have to register and get like a code, and it's through the Pay by Phone app. Correct.
Right, so they couldn't have it for 5 cards. It would be for 1.
Correct. We
Okay.
do. I
You could
believe our
limit
code
it.
limits it.
Okay. Okay. Is that something that you can put together for next meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. All right, next item, please.
Next item is 3C, legislative priorities.
That is Vice Mayor.
That is me. Okay. So I'm going to go a little slower this time. I know I hit you guys with a lot because it was also like 10:45. And I was ready for bed, basically. So we put up our legislative priorities are online. So if we can put them up for a moment so you can see it. So this is our updated website. We divided it so that 2026 is on top, and then 2025 would be, so we can always...
If I can just stop you, how do
Yes.
we get to that? So if I go on the website, how do I find that?
You can Google Sunny Isles Beach Legislative Advocacy, and it'll take you there. That's what I do.
Right, but that's because you know. But if I am just a layperson,
So I told you what I do.
Page.
right?
Do you see it right there? It's a legislative advocacy under elected officials.
There
So
you go.
go to City Hall, elected officials,
Thank you for
legislative.
that.
Okay.
Okay, so I just wanted to let you guys know it's up there. So if you're communicating with legislators and you want to push for any of the things that we made a priority, you can just give them that link and say, look, here it is. Here's our resolution. You don't need to be making attachments or anything like that. I shared this with the Florida League of Cities, and they were happy with it. And then if you go all the way to the bottom of the page, there is a sign up or a register button, and that way you can get updates as we update it. So with regards to let's go back up to the 26th, please. With regards to our priorities, we have, hold on, we have the SB 208 is the first one. This one basically is problematic for us, and it is now, the Senate bill is now in rules, and the House bill is in the State Affairs Committee. This one's problematic. It would impact the way that we, our structure for our fees, and this one is a concern for us, for our permit fees in particular. And so this hits us with money. The next one is the suits against government, which is sovereign immunity. The Senate bill was found favorable by its second committee, and now it's in rules. And this is the one that before the session started, it had already passed its 3 committees in the House. The Senate bill,
Excuse me,
yeah.
Vice Mayor. The Senate bill is the one with the revisions that are more favorable to
The Senate
the
bill would be
municipalities,
okay,
right?
actually,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
But the House bill is the one that started with like a big head start. And as of February 13th, the Senate bill is in the Rules Committee. And again, in this one, even though it wouldn't be a terrible thing for us, it's basically saying if you get sued, you would have to pay more money. And the bad thing about it is it also says you can or above the limits. So basically, there's no limits. So we would end up paying more. With the local business tax, it's also basically would be preventing us from having a tax revenue of the business tax, which for Sunny Isles is about $300,000. So this would be a $300,000 hit for us, which we can say, well, that's our Christmas lights, right, or holiday lights.
May I say
yes,
something
of
to
course.
that? So I was up in Tallahassee with the Florida League of Cities and spoke to a couple of our representatives, and you know, I got mixed emotions. Some representatives, I think the spirit of this is to kind of, you know, rein in some municipalities that do charge businesses a lot of money and take advantage. So obviously, it's not the case with us. So, you know, we were talking and opposed to this, and I just got the feeling that some legislators up there are in favor of it. So I don't know where it's going to go at this point. So we'll see. I just wanted to.
I can tell you that the Senate bill passed its first committee, but it hasn't had any movement since January 13th.
I hope.
So
it stays
usually,
there,
you know, that's not a good sign. And then the House bill has had a lot of activity, and it was referred to appropriations. It's it passed actually on the 17th, the special order calendar 8226.
Yeah.
So that, you know, but they're in balance, and that's what I'm seeing in this session. It's like the House is moving stuff, but then the Senate isn't, and then the Senate is moving things, and then they're not moving.
How many more weeks are there?
Hmm?
How many more weeks are there?
We're
the
in
session?
week 6. This ends in early March.
Right, so we're
So-
almost out of time. Okay.
So that's good for us if they don't. But again, this would be a hit for us, right? Then they're saying that we're probably can expect a special session. So we'll see, especially with the property taxes. The next one is the expenditure of public funds. This is the one where they're saying they don't want municipalities and counties to be able to hire lobbyists when they're in front of the legislature, the state legislature or any state agency. So they're trying to cut money from you, and then they don't want you to have tools to be able to defend yourself. So this is also a bad one for us. And the House bill was found favorable by its first committee, and it's been referred to its second committee, which is Rules and Ethics. And the good news here is that there's no Senate companion bill.
Okay.
So I think, given where we are, hopefully, I don't even know why it's in the second committee, but I don't understand everything, so we have to still watch it. Then we have prohibited uses of public funds by political subdivisions, which is us. This is another one with no Senate companion bill, but this is basically telling us, like, trying to control how we can spend our money or who we can donate to. But no Senate companion bill is good news, and it's also had no movement since January 13th. So I don't think we need to worry about this one. But I also was super confident about the environmental one last year, and it died. So take it with a grain of salt. Okay. Then the community associations management, this is one that we favor. The Senate bill was found favorable in its first committee, and it's now in its second committee, which is the judiciary, and that's also February 12th, so it's had recent activity.
Is there a cap on the amount of units for the association?
They have it on income, on the income of the association, of 500,000.
The budget?
Yeah.
Okay, so 500,000.
If you as an association manage 500 or more,
which would
500,000 or more,
be most of our buildings.
I would think so.
Yeah, okay.
So the House bill passed all its committees, so February 12th, which was the last activity. And these bills are moving, and they are moving together, unlike the other stuff. This one is moving.
What's the enforcement on that? So if that passes,
don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
because this is going to affect every single building.
Yeah, but they're
in a good way.
Most
Yeah.
of our buildings have professionals managing them anyway.
Okay.
So then they're going to have to figure it out. And then we have the nature-based one that I was so confident would pass, and it did, all 6 committees, and then nothing happened. So this one, the Senate bill was amended. It's now on special order calendar on 2/19. That's today. So I don't know if it already happened, but it's been unanimous, just like last year, on its 3 committees. And then the House bill was found favorable on 2 committees, and that's as of 2/17. So for these, the resolutions were drafted. Oh no, I'm sorry. So that's that. Then we have the property tax ones, which is the House Joint Resolutions 201 and 203. 201 is in its 3rd committee, which is Ways and Means. And that one is the one that says we're going to get rid of homestead property tax like tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. And then 203 is the one that says let's get rid of them over 10 years. And that one has its 3 committees, and today it's on special order calendar, and I don't know what happened today because I haven't caught up to it. So that's where we are. I will, because we were just talking about parking, and it's another bill that's been coming up. I'll bring up to add it for the 6:30. I call it the parking bill. It's HB 323, and this is them wanting to manage our parking. And what they're saying is you need to give a 2-hour grace period. So if the meter runs out, you can't ticket them for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. So. And if somebody parks on the street, you can't tow them for 12 hours. Okay, so I don't know what problem they're trying to solve, but this is not good.
Some legislator got towed.
Somebody got a ticket. I guess they didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe they got towed from an arcade plaza, and they didn't understand it wasn't us. The good news on this is that there's no committee activity, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because they're trying to hit us from every angle, right? It's not just property tax; it's business tax. Oh, you make money on parking? Fine. Now you can't. You you want a lobbyist to defend you? No, we don't want you to have that. They're coming at us from every angle, and we need to be conscious of that, not just during session, but also as we make decisions in our budget and everything else to anticipate what we may lose. Because some of these are not going to go anywhere, but they'll come back next year.
Well, right? The parking one will have a major impact on our budget.
It would.
Right.
We make, I think, if I remember correctly, just the pier park.
Right.
Just that one makes like $300,000. Just that one.
That's from years ago, I think. Yeah, I think it's probably more now.
It might be more now.
Yeah.
So think about what all our collective parking is. And not just parking, but then what we make in citations. Because when people overstay their welcome, they get a ticket, so we make that. And this would impact all of that. So I'll be bringing that forward. But I'm mostly bringing it to your attention because I want you to understand how we're being attacked at every angle, and that we need to, prepare for that.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it for the legislative.
All right.
Oh, and I'm sorry, and the 201 and the not that one. Yeah, the cleanup ones, the SB 180 cleanup bills that we deferred last time.
Yes.
Alan gave us permission that we can go forward with them.
Okay. Thank you, Alan.
All right.
All right. Next item is yours.
The remote voting.
Vice Mayor, remote voting.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to keep bringing this every 3 months, as long as you guys keep saying no, because I feel that we keep having example after example of why it's a good idea. And eventually, I'm hoping that you guys come to the dark side. But where we left off the last time was figuring out, well, do other cities do it? I wasn't sure myself if we were preempted by state law or, we wanted to have like a fuller conversation. So We did look into it. Some cities in Dade do it. Let me get my legislative stuff out of the way.
Did we get, I thought we had asked for a report from staff. Am I remembering it incorrectly, to give us a sense of who else is doing it?
Yes, and Mauricio told me, and now I can't find my notes. But,
Okay.
there are a couple of cities that do it, and they all do it differently. Some of them, you have to give them, tell them in advance, like well in advance. Others, you can just ask that day, but you have to vote on it. Others don't do it at all. So we have like the full spectrum, but we're not preempted. We're not preempted by state law, to do something like that. So I think that we should consider not a free-for-all, but anticipating what I keep saying, that life happens. So that we can have, the full participation when you can't physically be here. And so my recommendation would be like allowing for like maybe one regularly scheduled meeting, but sometimes we may have a special meeting and that you weren't counting on, and you happen to be, out of town, but there's an emergency happen, you have a special meeting, and now you can't participate because you planned around what you knew, and now you can't like participate in a special, in an important decision. So I think just build in a little, anything more than 0 is a win here, because right now we've been at 0. So I think that we should implement a little flexibility, because we never know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's hear from the commission. Commissioner Joseph, what do you think about the one-time suggestion?
I'm still on the same path as I was previously, that I don't believe that remote voting is a good idea for us.
Okay. Commissioner Stuyvesant?
I'm in favor of it. I think we should cap it off at 2. There's always emergencies. Like, for instance, right now I'm getting over a cold. I wish I could have, voted from my house. I am fully aware, informed of all the items on the agenda. And, I don't see why we cannot vote remotely. I mean, so we could, so I think the main issue here, at least from what I perceive, is the abuse of this, right? You just cap it off, and that's all you have to do. And we could either, let's say if we have a scheduled trip, we could either, put some rules in place. We could put some rules in place where we need to give staff, some sort of advanced warning, or tell them heads up, that, sorry about that, that we're going to be absent. Or in the case of, let's say you get sick, you tell them, a couple of days before, a day before.
So
but we should cap it off for sure.
I can argue both sides, but like, for instance, today's meeting, you're getting over a cold, Commissioner Stuyvesant's getting over a cold, and then if someone else was sick, we basically would just be potentially one person sitting here with everyone else on the phone. Mm-hmm. So how does that work?
Okay, well, you put rules around that too.
So like only one person gets to be sick.
Only one
I'm
person
playing
gets
it
to be
devil's
sick.
advocate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Only one person gets to participate. The other one gets to be sick. Right? Then they don't participate at all. And you can make first come, first serve. Right? But
sillier. Come on.
No. Well, listen. I mean, you can make whatever. You don't like that, make a different rule. But
I just think it's a slippery slope when we start. I'm not completely against it. I think that there is emergencies that happen, and where, especially if it's an important vote, you definitely want the full participation. But on the flip side, no matter how informed you are, being here physically does feel much different than being on the phone.
And I'm never going to argue that. Of course it's better to be here in person. I'm not trying to convince you that being remote is just as good.
Right.
I'm just saying sometimes if you're prepared, you can participate and you can still get the job done. Maybe not in an ideal way, but you can still get the job done. So, and obviously not for quasi-judicial. This would not apply for, you don't get to vote on quasi-judicial.
But still, if I can
If
say,
there
Commissioner
is a-
Jefferson wanted
yeah.
to say something. Go ahead.
If there is an item in the agenda that is really important for somebody, and, I mean, one of us, and for whatever reason, we cannot be present, I think that the best thing, actually, what I would do is that I will send a communication, a memo through the city clerk, letting the rest of the commission know that I would like to really have the opportunity to participate in the cat feeding program, because it's really important for me, but I cannot be in the meeting for whatever reason. And I will and I will probably ask for the commission to consider deferring that item for the next month. So that way, something that is really important for you, you can have the opportunity to participate. And because it's true, things happen, but regardless, we are asked to be here once a month for 11 months. That's really the minimum. So putting rules and regulations and other rules and regulations that then they have the exception of the rule and the regulation doesn't make any sense. If we cannot be here, then you cannot vote. And if it's important for you, communicate through the proper channels with your colleagues and let them know that to give you the opportunity to participate. At least that's what I would do.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I understand we have to be here once a month for 11 months, but, emergencies are not scheduled around the schedule here, or illnesses are not scheduled around our commission schedule. So that's why I think it will be a good idea to, put in place where you could twice during the commission schedule, the 11 commission meetings scheduled, you'll be able to vote remotely. I mean, I don't see how this is that difficult. I mean, like, again, going back to my example, I wish I could have done this from home via Zoom or via, telephone, especially now that we have, so many technologies. Eventually, we could probably integrate whoever's absent physically, through some sort of video screen, so video call. So I think that we should be open to discussing this further and, getting with the times.
Yeah, no, I'm leaning on this side over here because I keep thinking of where I had the emergency situation where I was in the emergency room. I would have very much liked to vote, but I know that I would have not been really paying attention because it would be impossible for me to do that. It was just too loud and my head would not be there, but I would feel inclined that I should vote and I wanted to vote. I think that you can't have it both ways.
I think there are instances where it's just an emergency and you can't attend. I mean, there are things where, but like I've said before, in a situation where my flight was canceled. Right. And I intended to be here, but my flight was canceled, and I won't be able to catch it till tomorrow. Well, I can still set up in my hotel room and participate, and with the same preparation that I had, when I was going to show up, right? And there are things where you're just not going to do it. You're going to say, I'm not going to make it. And if you're in that sort of state of mind, like you're saying, that's one where you just don't participate.
But with that same logic, if we said that we are not going to allow more than 2 people to be sick at the same time, if I was already sick and then you lose your flight, still you cannot participate.
That is correct.
Because I'll be the one excused because I'm sick. Like right now I'm sick and I'm here and I would rather be home in my pajamas. But I cannot because this is important. So that's even to the point. If you miss your flight and I'm still sick, you won't be able to participate.
Correct. But the chances of 2 people having an emergency at the same time is less, right? It's unlikely. I don't think we've ever had that.
I think it's a slippery slope, and I think that it relies very heavily on people being also honest, which I think that we've talked about this a lot, and I feel very, very confident that all of us take this very seriously. And I'm not suggesting that future commissions will be less honest. I just think that once you start going towards that direction, then all of a sudden the whole thing becomes virtual. So I'm not in support of it, but bring it back.
Well, we'll talk about it in 3 months.
Okay,
I'll bring it back.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
All right.
Next.
So you have 2 more rounds.
Next,
Bring it back.
next,
Next
Vice Mayor,
item
you're
is
on a roll.
3, discussion regarding the feasibility of bio walls.
Okay, so when I went to this, I had on last month, and I deferred it because we had a long agenda. And so this is an item of an environmental item that addresses. They're called living seawalls or bio walls. There's different words for it, and there's different kinds. So I know that we had like some visuals that can come up, and basically but it's not. So I had asked whether it was feasible for us to use it. Like this one, I believe is these are the tiles. So FIU is making, these are the tiles that they put on healthy, strong, sound walls, and they have different shapes. And they basically then invite algae, which invites little fish, which invites little oysters or whatever. So you have all this biodiversity, and then it cleans the water. Then you have the birds that show up, and they eat the little fish, and so you're creating a artificial reef basically on the seawalls, which help clean the water and also help with the damage to the wall behind it.
I think there's actual seawalls that are even made.
Okay, and that's the other one,
Right.
which I have a second. And then there's a company, and these are 2 local projects, one from FIU and one from a local company, and that's the video. Okay, like so. And they're just like these really big slabs that are shaped like mangrove roots. And they're put in like really big slabs, and it serves the same function. But you're not just putting it on the wall, you're just basically putting it in front of the wall. It's its own separate wall. And I think
Setting cement with a
There we go.
32%
So-
lower
and they're
CO2
3D
footprint
printed.
than traditional Portland cement. Its
So they're 3D
materials are
printed.
non-metallic, making them non-toxic. And unlike the century-old flat seawalls that destroy marine habitats, these become living artificial reefs.
And the idea is to attract native species, create caves for them to hide from predators, and essentially transform this infrastructure product into something that's now also functions like an artificial reef.
As the sea life deposit their skeletons and shells, they sequester carbon through biocalcification, about 40 pounds of carbon per panel per year.
So each slab is like a tree, basically, they say. So, I didn't want to play the whole thing. I just wanted you to see it, right? And then they slide them in front of the walls. So I wanted the staff to explore the feasibility of use in our city, because it doesn't mean that it'll be a good fit. I know it's being used in Dania and Coral Gables and City of Miami. But also, it may be useful for, let's say, Winston Towers or houses that are on the water. And the city, what the cities are doing and the county is also doing is creating incentives through permits. So that's the other part that I would like the city to explore.
I love it.
So if we can't use it, let's say an Intercoastal Park, apparently.
Where do we have seawalls?
Intercoastal Park and Bella Vista Bay Park.
Right.
That's it?
That is city-owned property, yes.
But we're under the William Lehman. That's not our responsibility.
That's FDOT.
Okay. Okay.
So in those 2 areas that you mentioned, we have new seawalls, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well,
this is
we already went
viable.
out to bid for
Right.
Bella Vista Bay,
Yeah,
and that project is just waiting for their permit.
right.
It'll come
So
in
this
shortly.
living seawall is more viable for new seawalls.
I don't know.
Because we have so many in this city, and I can tell you, we have so many aging seawalls that require inspection, that the city, Stan, right? We have so many seawalls that the city either doesn't have the right to inspect, or we're just not inspecting.
What kind of
basis? How
incentives
is that
are there,
working?
Vice Mayor?
Well,
For
the 3D printing that they do and the material that they use is not like your traditional cement. It's different, so they can generate.
No. I meant what kind of
know.
incentives are the cities?
I'm
Yeah,
getting to it. And so so that's part of the incentive, is that the projects can move faster because the product can be ready faster, and they I believe DEP waives some fees or some permits, or so they streamline it. They're trying to make it enticing for you to use something like that, not a particular company or a particular product, but that kind of idea, because it's environmentally beneficial. And I don't have the details, but that's why I'm asking the city to look into it and what that might look like for us.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's a twofer, your item as well. Anyone else? What do you all think?
I'm just thinking that unless you have a brand new seawall, it's not feasible.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
I know that. I happen to know that answer.
Okay, Commissioner Lama?
Yeah, I'm for it. I mean, we'll have to look at the condition of the seawalls. I mean, there's a present issue right now at the Winston Towers 300.
Yeah.
There's like a owner that's MIA, so there's other things. But yeah, I mean, I like this. Let's say, granted, there's no issues. I think we could move forward, or at least for the seawall portions of the city that we control as a municipality.
I think because I don't know what sort of restrictions or what sort of issues people have and what kind of incentives can be created. So if you want to build a seawall, how difficult is it? How long does it take versus this? You know, so I'm for the staff looking into this and letting us know how we could look. Anything that makes homeowners' lives easier, and I know that Winston Towers in particular has a very big challenge ahead of them, not just 300, you know, all of those buildings that have seawalls. Whatever we can do to help them, I would be 100% in support. Yeah. Commissioner Stewardson? Okay.
So Jennifer, how does this work? Who do we contact? I mean, what are the next steps?
The next steps is directing staff to explore the feasibility for us.
Okay.
And then they'll tell us. You know, I don't have that.
But who do they have to talk to? They have to talk to
they have their
group in
contacts.
FIU?
There's not just the particular companies, but I've been talking to other cities, like and to the city of Miami, who have their resilience department. And I learned this at the best practices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Weren't you in there with me? That maybe you had left. But yeah, that's.
Could we get a report for the next commission meeting, please? Is that possible?
Yes, just understand that the permitting for that is through the county.
Well, just
primarily.
to give us a sense of what the process is, so we know.
Yes.
So this is basically no different than pervious concrete, where you have to go to the county as well.
Permitting related to anything that basically goes into the ground is going to have to go to the county.
Yeah, so if the city wanted to start using pervious concrete for sidewalk replacements, that would have to go through the county, correct? That's what I was told.
That's correct. Yeah, you have to go on the pervious concrete, you have to go through the county.
Right.
Okay, next item.
Next item is 3F. However, that's been deferred at the request of Commissioner Joseph.
Okay, next item.
3G is a discussion regarding Jewish Solidarity Day.
Right. So I just wanted to, I already had a discussion with Stan, but I just want to make sure that it's on the calendar for May 3rd.
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, next item.
3H is a discussion regarding city ordinance enforcement.
Yes. Okay. So,
One second, it's almost 4:30. I know we have two people that are sick. We're okay to keep going? Commissioner Lama, Commissioner Stewardson? I'm good. Yes? Okay, go ahead, please.
I know that every commissioner and mayor, vice mayor, has a peeve regarding one city ordinance that is not enforced to the fullest. I get complaints every week regarding dogs on the beach, poop in the parks, parking that's not enforced or enforced too well. So I put this on the agenda to just have a discussion regarding what ordinances could be enforced better.
Okay.
Give us more information. So, do
Well,
you want a report of how much, how many violations we have?
No,
Do you have like
every
quantitative
commissioner,
data is
I'm
my
sure.
question.
Yeah, I have been reported, I've had it been reported to me regarding dogs on the beach that are not being,
That one for sure.
okay? We have a lot of codes that are not being enforced, or that we get visitors and, you know, it's a joke. Some of our ordinances and all that are not enforced, and we ask people to abide by them, and then there's no enforcement. So, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Other commissioners also have ordinances that maybe they think aren't being enforced at all, not enforced at all, or not enforced correctly.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to have this discussion.
All right.
with everyone.
Anybody want to bring something up?
Like the smoking on the restaurants?
Yeah, smoking in the restaurants. The state has a law which they don't have any manpower to enforce, where if you have an overhang and you have a building, so the opening, if the opening is less than 50%, there's no smoking, but it's not enforced by the state. All of the restaurants that are at RK Plaza should not have smoking allowed because of that state law, the 50% law.
Okay.
But I'm sure there are others that other commissioners also would like to see enforced better, other ordinances.
I mean,
Fireworks, I mean, the other night I heard fireworks blasting. I don't know where it was coming from, but it was certainly in the city, and I know there must not have been a permit. Have there been any recent fireworks permits that we issued in the past week that we know of?
I would have to go back and look.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of our ordinances are taken as a joke.
Well, I don't know if I agree that a lot of our ordinances are taken
Well,
as a joke.
we have several.
I agree that we can do better with the beach. I just don't know what that means for us as far as the budget and you know, does that mean we hire a code person specifically for the beach? You know, what is it that we feel strongly about? So, Commissioner Lama, did you have anything that
yeah, I mean, something I brought up in the last commission meeting is keeping our beaches clean. And I think some of the perpetrators are the buildings that are on the sand. You know, have them, you know, hold them accountable.
We're doing their job.
Also, the setup of the beach lawns, the lawn chairs, so that we need to be careful. We need to always be on top of these, let's say, buildings, right? So they don't go over their parameters, let's say, that we set for them. And dogs, I get complaints about dogs all the time. So I don't know with dogs, I mean, how can you, I know that's, you know, we do stop and tell people that have dogs in the beach that is not allowed, but, you know, how do you monitor that? How you enforce it? So I think we need to have a discussion on having continuous monitoring, because, you know, somebody with a dog or many people with dogs are going to slip by, and there's not going to be a police officer or a code compliance officer.
Well, then you have kids
there. Yeah.
going and playing on the same sand that the dog.
No, I
peed
understand.
on.
I'm for you know, not having dogs on the beach. The thing is that we need to see how we could enforce it on a continuous basis. I think that's where the issue is.
Alex,
yeah.
about the dogs, Hollywood figured it out a long time ago. So we could maybe copy what they're doing.
What are they doing?
We've been talking about that many times.
Do you know what they're doing?
Yeah, immediately when you are there, they give you a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
If you claim that it's a service dog, they have an answer for that too. So I brought that up like you before I was a commissioner many times. So we've been talking about this for at least 10 years.
So let's look into
let's do
their
it. Let's make it
ordinance,
happen.
and let's
Absolutely.
read it, and let's see if we can adopt it then.
Absolutely.
Well, your ordinance, I think, already takes care of that. It comes down to enforcement. So you can, I think that right now we're issuing warnings, but you could stop issuing warnings.
Let's raise the fines and,
No, but
They give the fine first.
well, give fines and
going
raise
back
them.
to the point where somebody would say this is an emotional support dog or a service dog, from what I
You
understand,
cannot lie about it.
once they tell us that, we cannot ask them for any documentation or
No.
certificates proving that.
Right, so
correct?
there's no, so incidentally, you mentioned emotional support dog. There's no such thing that's recognized under the law. Actually, those are not protected. There's only two questions you can ask, and they have to be whether they're trained for disability and what that training is. You can't ask what the disability is, but those are the two questions you can ask. You're correct, though, they don't have to have documentation. The dogs don't have to be labeled. So from that perspective, it gets challenging to enforce. But obviously, even though they may be service dogs, you have to be able to control them. They can't be allowed to defecate wherever they want to. Those things are still in play. So if you have a code enforcement officer that witnesses a dog defecating, then you can ticket them for that. Regardless of whether, the issue of whether they're supposed to be on the beach or not is a different issue. Obviously, if they're not recognized ADA-type dogs, they can't be on the beach. But let's say, for argument's sake, they are allowed to be on the beach because of the ADA. You still have to be able to control your dog, no defecation, those types of things. So those things are still enforceable.
Yeah, but also I think it's either misdemeanor or a felony to lie when they ask you if they are like a service animal or not. Because even outside the pediatrician of my kids, it says there, like if you lie and it says the statue. I remember I took a picture, I sent it to you guys long time ago. I'm gonna look for that again.
Yeah, the problem is, like with on the beach, you can't ask for documentation. That's the problem. And it makes no sense because federal law says, okay, these are the types of dogs that are permitted, but you can't ask for proof. So it makes it a little ridiculous. But
And probably the people with dogs, most of them know this, probably.
there's a lot of, yes.
There's a lot of them that know that.
So that's something for our legislative to-do list for next year.
But you could ticket them for the behavior of the dog.
No, how?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
you
So-
stepped out, yeah.
The issue of whether the dog can be on the beach or the park is one thing. So
Right.
let's say that they are recognized, they answer the questions correctly. The two questions you can ask, they answer them correctly. Regardless of that, you still have to be able to control your dog. So if the dog is unruly, let's say they're here at the government center, it's a recognized exception, they can be here, but the dog is unruly, keeps barking, disrupting, trying to attack people, out, regardless of whether it's an ADA protected dog. Same thing as if it's going to the bathroom everywhere, out, regardless of whether they're an ADA request. So for that behavior, you can still enforce that.
Right, but the code enforcement agent has to witness it, or could someone, because, look,
Yes, they would have to, with
I
any.
can tell you that this is
That's
the
the
challenge.
impossibility.
This is the
But you
challenge that
can't-
I've had, and I should probably go to the beach more often, but I don't. And the couple of times that I go, I'll witness a dog, I'll call to see, if somebody comes, and they don't come. And so that's a challenge, because if you go to the beach on a regular basis and you know that no one's going to come, it's very frustrating. So I don't know what the answer is to that. I don't necessarily say we need to add an additional person to the budget, but there has to be a better way to manage the dog situation on the beach.
I can tell you that in the South, we have the issue with the dogs, but also we have the naked people coming now also to our side, so you guys know. And the people that live in the buildings, they know exactly at what time the lifeguards are leaving and everybody's leaving, and they come down exactly after when it's starting to get dark according to the time of the year, and they get their dog play dates. So there's several dogs there. They go inside the water, when it's the summer, when it's hot enough. So it's just there is no respect for any rule or regulation. That is on the south side, like next to Haulover Park. And like I said, and other people from Haulover is coming to our side, including the naked people.
So if I can make a suggestion, could we make an attempt to have code go out at this time, at the very least? You know, to see what can be affected, without waiting for someone to call, you know?
Yes.
Okay, I think we
I'd
can
also like
start
to
there.
answer Commissioner Joseph's question. Yes, there was a permit, an approved fireworks permit for last Saturday,
Saturday. That might have been.
February 14th.
Yes. Mhm. Thank you.
Okay. Next item?
Next item is 3I, discussion regarding building department inspections.
No, didn't we just do that? Oh,
Well, similar,
Okay.
yeah. So this is a similar discussion
Okay.
where permits are delayed or they're taking longer than anticipated. So I believe that is being corrected with our digital process that we're bringing in.
okay.
But I'm sure everyone's heard the same issues where, you know, it's taking longer than expected to get an inspection. And we had this discussion as well. Actually, that was at the agenda review, where we're working on bringing on new building department inspectors.
Yeah, that should help.
Yes,
Okay.
so that should help.
Okay, next item is
Do you
3K.
have something to say? No?
Okay.
3K regarding, no, 3J was deferred.
Defer.
3K is a discussion regarding public parking signage.
All right.
From the arcade plazas, they are asking if we can inform the people better about our public parkings. I don't know, Mauricio, did you share the email with everybody, the one that I got from Danny Katz? If not, can you please share with them, okay? So they continue having a lot of issues with their plazas. They had to spend a lot of money as well in the plaza next to us because of the school parking. So what they are requesting is for the city to do better, to have signs to let the people know about the parking garages that we have as of right now, and that those are the beach parkings, and that so they don't go to their plaza and they don't need to be the bad guys that then they're going to be having to tow the people. So this apparently was discussed before. Mm-hmm. So if we can just, do better signage for our garages.
I think that the challenge was before, correct me if I'm wrong, was we're limited as to how many signs we could have. What is it called? Sign
pollution.
Sign pollution, yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What is the process for adding, because they brought this up a couple of times, the RK. What is the process for adding signs?
Based on where they were proposing them, we have to have an FDOT permit.
Okay.
Because they want them like on the roadways. So we did increase or change out the signs that we have for public parking lots to make them more visible. But what they were looking for was additional, like beach parking with an arrow saying like go that way,
right?
Like all throughout to the different lots. That requires FDOT.
Does anything prevent RK from putting up better signs on their lots saying, this is not a beach parking, we will tow you? I know they're there. I know we had this conversation before.
Yeah, we did.
And maybe I think the answer was that they were also limited in what they could do. But I feel like this is an RK problem, not a city problem.
The limitations, we did discuss this before. It was a slightly different context because we were talking about whether we could require better signage in the plazas because of people getting towed. That signage is regulated by the county as well as towing and the fines and everything else. To the extent that RK wants to, on his own, put additional signs, not replace those, but additional signs that would indicate, please don't park here, this and that, it's their private property, they can do that. They just are, with regards to the towing aspect, they have to follow county regulations.
So if they wanted to put additional signs or even paint, the front of the parking that says this is not beach parking, whatever it is, they're basically free to do that?
But that's actually not the point of this conversation,
Okay.
They had done a lot of things, and I'm not talking on behalf of them, I'm not their spokesperson or anything like that, but they had incurring a lot of expenses when it comes, for example, to the school parking. They had to put a gate and personal there, etc. The issue that now the summer is coming, that they are bringing for our discussion, is specifically about our garages, our parking garage. Nothing to do with their plazas. That is the consequence, that the people is going out there and parking, because according to the email that I received, it is in their view that our parking garages are not, they don't have a good, they don't have good signs letting the people know even what is the location of those are. Like, for example, I know a lot of people that they don't know about the parking garage that is in front, under the causeway, the first one, which is like in front of the Ocean 2. So many people don't even know that's a parking garage. Or the one that is very close to the Marco Polo. So what their request is about, we apparently are not doing such a good job letting the people know where they can park when they come to the city of Sunny Isles Beach. That is specifically nothing to do, or whatever you want to do in Sunny Isles. You want to walk around, whatever, but it's where the city's parkings are. Nothing to do with their own plazas. I know they do whatever they want with their plazas. So that's why they asked us to have this discussion again. And if we can consider just whatever is necessary, it's even good for the people to know where they can park when they come to Sunny Isles Beach. That's all.
I think they probably have a bigger problem with the parents picking kids up from school.
Which is not part of the discussion.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how many more signs we could put up, but I think that also goes to the earlier discussion about our parking in general.
Correct.
How utilized are they? So,
So the one that you're referring to that's between the northbound, southbound lanes is almost always full. People go in, have to circulate through and go out. It's very often full, especially during the daytime hours.
But not by beach patrols. A lot of the people of the constructions are parking in there.
Right, so during the day, early morning, they're taken up pretty much all day from people going across the street to work in those buildings or do other
Precisely,
things.
because even the beach people, they don't even know that they can park in there, which is to their point. Like those garages or those available parking spaces, the people that is coming to Sunny Isles to go to the beach or to bicycle around, whatever, they don't know where they are. That is exactly the point. And I know those are usually being used by the workers, because we have other parking issues with the buildings which are not part of the conversation. So my suggestion is to give us some alternative of doing better, informing the people that is coming to Sunny Isles where they can park. That's, I think, is a very fair, simple study. I hope we don't need to get any outside review, and we don't need somebody to come as a consultant to do that. I think it's kind of simple to see what we can do better to inform the people, because also it's very sad, and I'm not in social media, but they send it to me every time that they are like, I don't want to use a bad word, so they're talking not good about coming to Sunny Isles and getting your cars towed.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can do a little bit better, if just informing the people, that is the idea of the discussion. And if something can come back to us with a price tag, and maybe also like a mug or some kind of design, or what is it that we can do, that's the point of the discussion.
So I will provide some information to you. When we were doing our garage signs, we did get a denial from FDOT for a sign we wanted to put in advance to show that parking was coming up on Sunny Isles Boulevard. We will look back into that and see if there's any other way for them to allow us to do that.
yeah, I mean, but I would also encourage the plazas to have signage there. They don't need the permission, so it's a lot easier for them. There's nobody wants to get towed. So if it's obvious that they're going to get towed, they will find other parking or they'll go someplace else.
And there could be a sign on their property that says public parking located at.
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Or
But you know-
scan a QR code for a map to get you.
On our city
but-
website, do we have locations of our public parking
Yes, sir, we do.
But
well indicated?
Yes, sir. We have a specific map just for parking.
the most simple answer to that is, especially for internationals, they're not going to come looking and reading everything in the plaza. For people coming from other countries, you would not even think that if you park in front of the beach in one of those apparently public plazas, your car is going to be towed, you know? So that's what I say. Like, if we are such a diverse community and people is coming from everywhere, and every time more people is coming, to the point they are not completely informed or well educated about what are the consequences. Hence, I don't think anybody is parking there looking forward to have their automobile being towed. And I see daily those tow trucks going with the cars, you know. So
It's a public
I just
relations
saying-
issue.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. But people coming from other places, just to consider doing something better. And yeah, I would love to see also that FDOT denial, so maybe we can reach out to them directly.
Okay, next item.
Next item is 3L, discussion regarding History Hall.
I just wanted to have some kind of answer about what happened with the History Hall. Because it was removed like a long time ago and still nothing there. And it's supposed to be there by resolution. So as it is, we're breaking that.
Okay. City Manager?
I actually did
What's
ask
the
about
plan for City Hall? I mean, for History Hall?
Supposed to be going back.
We're in the process of digitizing the photos that were there,
Okay,
and the plan for the future is to have multiple TV screens that will have a history and scroll through the photos, as well as certain of the photos displayed. Right now, it's displayed for our Sunny Isles Beach, our Sunny Isles Spaces art contest. But we had to take all of that down to renovate it, to upgrade it. We redid the carpet. We painted all of the walls to make it more appealing. So that work is done, but we're still in the process of digitizing the photos.
When were the art taken out? I mean, when it was over a year ago now.
Yeah, the process for putting it together is involved to do it the right way.
No,
And
clearly.
we want to make it more of just, instead of flashing the photos of the pictures, we want to establish a nice presentation to explain some of the history of the city.
Okay, but who made that decision? Because that was never brought to us. We never voted on it. We were never considering it. So we were not part of that decision making. Hence, we don't know what's going on.
How would you like for it to be?
More transparent. That if you guys are making
It's transparent because we brought to you the renovations that we were going to do on that floor.
Okay.
So we did.
Okay.
And in order to upgrade the walls, we have to take the pictures down.
Clearly.
And to make it more presentable for the future, we're digitizing it
Well,
to make
which
sure
is-
it's preserved.
Which is a decision-making process. Like, you guys are deciding that to make it more presentable. Because, for example, I'd rather see the history, the paper, the newspaper, the pictures, the real pictures, physically than digitally. So we can add the digital component. It will be beautiful if we have a standing big screen where you can even be part of it and decide what is it that you want to see, something from 1997 or 2007, and you can click and have it interactive. I think everybody's pro that, but to making the decision that it's going to be taken out, not bring it back, make it digital and take it from the residents when it was what it was, that is a decision that was made without consultation or even informing us.
I don't think that's a policy.
Yeah, it's not,
shift.
and it's not taking it from the residents. It's actually enhancing it and preserving it for the future, which I would think that would be something you all would want.
Well, my request will be to bring everything back in a better shape, form, or format, and add the digital component.
What exactly do you want to bring back?
Everything that was taken from the walls. The walls are completely naked.
No, I know, but we have so many things. How do we decide what to put up there?
Okay, so bring it to us with some renderings, or what is it that we can do it even through the years or something like that.
But I think that's something that staff needs to put together. We have literally probably, what, thousands, how many pieces of artifacts or newspapers or I can't even imagine. Some of the stuff up there, I didn't even understand why it was up there. It was like rubles or some.
And also the time capsule was open, so there are maybe like even new things that we want to put out there. My point is that has to be done very fast because it's supposed to be there. We can add the digital component, and I think that's an amazing and good idea. We want that there as well. But to have the physical pictures, newspapers, whatever, like they can bring to us what is it that they're putting in there, and that's at least to inform us, to give us a presentation. This is what is going to come back to the walls. We don't have to decide yes, this picture no. But I think we represent the people, and that's the history of the city. So we should be at least be informed that what is coming back and when.
Okay, so Susan, could we get a sense of, please, at the next meeting, if possible, of what the timeline is and what the general idea is?
Yes.
Okay. And a general idea of how many actual pieces? I know that that's hard to say.
Thousands.
I know, okay.
Is there a major cost to this as well? That
There is some cost, and it was put in the budget.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And the next item?
And the last item that we have is 3M, microtransit.
And this I brought it back before as well. And it's about some ride-share service like Freebie, I continue having the same question from the residents that what is it that we don't have Freebie? They're in Bell Harbor, Aventura, or so many of our surrounding cities. And I know we're going to be talking about budget next week, and this is something I would like to bring next week as well. But we're going to talk about a lot of things during the budget. And usually this gets buried between the conversation. So my point will be to give the direction to continue to bring back something for us to decide or to vote on having a service like Freebie or something else. I'm not saying Freebie, that's the one that comes to my mind, but it can be anything, any of those ride shares. We had the budget for it many years ago, for I think 2 years, and still it was not implemented. And I think that's a disservice to the people. Now when even the bright light is open, we should be able to have the opportunity to get a freebie to take us to the bright line instead of bringing our cars in there. It's so simple. It's being expanded everywhere. And we, again, like I said before, we like to compete with all the other cities. Here we are really lacking.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mayor? Yeah, I think the main issue we're having, the misnomer of freebie, is that it's not free. That's the first thing. Most importantly, it's not free. So a lot of people think it is free. It's not free. The second thing is, based on our research from other cities, there's been issues with freebie. So there's been long wait times. So it's not the panacea or the answer that I think everybody thinks that it is. So as long as we go into that knowing there is a substantial recurring cost to the budget and that there are a number of complaints with it that need to be worked out,
yeah,
we can proceed with caution.
And thank you for that clarification. And also they have not only Freebie, but there are other companies, and they are bringing even different type of vehicles according to the needs of the city. They have like trolleys, golf carts, etc. So that is something that I think it will be very beneficial for our residents, at least to consider doing it again. It's true that it's not free for the city. We're going to have to pay a fee from the service. Regardless, I remember when we were having this conversation a few years ago, they were giving us even like, I believe it was like 3 months free, completely free for us to test the service to see if we like it. So that is one of the companies. I see it expanding in so many other municipalities right next to us. I think we should at least consider it.
If I may.
Yeah, please go ahead.
we did consider it, though. Let's not pretend that we didn't. Like, we had presentations, it just, the math wasn't there. So we did consider it. And I would ask, because like I didn't know some of this information that you're sharing now, and your memo is completely blank. Like, there's nothing that we can prepare for. So I would ask if you would please, none of your items had any information on them. Just if you could just give us some information in the future that we could look into. Like, I didn't know it was a resolution for the history hall. So if you could give us some information that we could go on, we could have a better conversation. But I can tell you that we did look into it, and I remember like the pricing was really off. Mm-hmm. So I just don't want to give the impression that we gave the direction and nothing was done. We gave the direction, something was done, and we turned it down. But so it may be worth reconsidering. I don't know. Yeah, but I could have prepared for this a little bit better if you had put any of that detail in your memo.
But it's interesting because the pricing is so much for sunny hours when we are spending $300,000 in a barbecue party and $300,000 in winter lights, and all of the other municipalities around us that they don't have the financials that we have, they can afford it. I think it's worth considering, because before the mask was not off. It was off was the willing of the commission and the staff to make it happen. The money was there. We were having even free money coming from the state. I think it was $100,000 or so that they were going to be giving us for free, the state of Florida, to implement that kind of program. So the mask is never being off. What is being off is the willing of this commission.
Okay.
Well, may I say something?
Yeah,
though?
please. Go.
So we
Go ahead, Commissioner Lama. Commissioner Lama.
Yeah, so we did have the transportation study, right? And we talked about the buses we already have, and I think some of those routes were tweaked a little bit, right? We're looking to implement the new app, but obviously we're looking for on-demand transportation. This is what Freebie is and Uber. So I think at one point we had discussed, or we had conversations with Uber. Is that correct, Stan or Susan? We're looking at some sort of working agreement or some sort of pricing model with Uber?
We looked at several options. One of the things that was discussed was vouchers through Uber, so residents could use that rather than having dedicated vehicles to this area. Freebie or an on-demand service such as that we would have to give up some bus routes, and so that's what it ultimately came down to: the consistency of moving a lot of people or adding more individual vehicles on the street to take people one or two at a time to different places.
Yeah. What, the on-demand transportation? I don't know about that.
Your mic's not on, Jerry.
I don't know about that, because I do have some residents from, different, like Marion Towers and some other buildings that they have to go to their doctor. Obviously, sometimes, most of the times they have the transportation from their health insurance, but they need to get somewhere on demand. And I would like to revisit the Uber option, given that Uber has a lot of more vehicles on the roads. It's pretty easy. It's like a voucher code that you put into your app.
Well, we had that when the 100 wasn't running.
But that's the issue, Alex. We discussed about the vouchers. We didn't do the vouchers. Mm-hmm. We had so many discussions, nothing happened. And I don't agree with the compromise that it has to be either the bus route or the on-demand. We can have both. We can have continue the bus as we have it and add that. Clearly, financially, we can do that for our people. And that's what I'm saying. It's just, we look ridiculous when every city around us is doing it, and we can continue talking and talking about this, and we don't. When
Well, I
North
think-
Miami have it, North Miami Beach has it, Bal Harbor and Aventura are surrounding cities, and they come in front of us. I mean, I've been seeing them crossing through Sonia's Beach. So what is it that it's just open a lot of conspiracies? What is it that we are not doing?
No,
We're
well,
the only ones.
May I? So I think that some of the points they raise are valid. I do have a friend that lives in Aventura, and his son uses Freebie, and he tells me he's got to call the Freebie 2 hours before. So I think these are concerns that are valid, and we just need to, if we do want to move forward with on-demand transportation with ride-sharing, then we'll have to, I don't think Freebie is the answer, to be honest with you, because
Whatever, exactly.
people have complained to me about the wait times, people that I know. So, yeah, we'll have to take a look at Uber or some other modes of transportation that will fulfill that on-demand request.
Neat.
If it means adding money to the budget, I'm for it.
I'm not for adding money to the budget. But I'm not opposed to doing anything if it makes sense. As long as the return on the investment is there, then I'm in support of it. But
This is not an investment.
That wouldn't
this is
be
a
any
service.
return.
But it is an investment, because what we're doing is we're saying that if it is more important for us to spend money on individual rides versus something else, it's an investment. We're moving money from one place to another. It's not unlimited.
No, but I understand. But the way I was thinking of doing it is that perhaps you do have vouchers, and it's for people that apply for it, you give them a voucher code. And then it depends, obviously, depends on the usage, right? So, or maybe we could cap the amount of money we give them for Uber. I don't know. We'll have to discuss. Because you don't want residents abusing it.
Well, that's exactly.
They'll be
But what's
taking
the
Uber
difference
for
between
everything.
abuse and use? You know, you could say that I have a need.
Maybe you give them a voucher for, I don't know, $100 a quarter, or I'm just throwing a number out
So
there.
$100
should explore
times
it.
30,000
If they
people.
need it, if they need
Well,
it.
but how do you determine need?
So you're okay
We'll need
exploring
to
it?
explore it. We need to explore that.
Because I could tell you right now that all the high school students will sign up for it.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. And I would be 100% in support of that, so I don't have to drive them. But then, you know, we're paying for it.
But that's why I'm bringing that concern up. I mean, we'll need to discuss it, because if other cities are doing it, obviously we want to do it right, because I don't think, you know, NMB and the way Aventura is doing it perhaps is not the best way, but they're offering something to their residents, right? We may see complaints about it, but they still have freebies going around. So it's serving some sort of
I just
purpose.
think we have to be very
or
careful
need.
how we spend taxpayer dollars.
No, I understand.
and
That's
that
why
it's
let's further
so, you know,
discuss.
it's for the- yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not against discussing it, but I just, with
This
caution.
service will be for the taxpayers.
Of
So
course it is,
let's
yeah.
keep that in mind.
I have a question, because maybe I think I might be combining things in my head, Susan. When we decided not to go with the rideshare, were we having that conversation at the same time as our buses? And then we decided did we invest more money into redoing our bus routes and all of that?
So we had done a survey. We got a lot of feedback, especially from our elderly, that they didn't like using the app. They didn't like using VIA through Miami-Dade County. But what they didn't like about our option was the buses were difficult to get in and out of. Routes weren't efficient. They were not always accurately on time based on traffic and things like that. So like long wait times between when the next bus would come. So through that survey and working with the county, we found a better way to run our buses, purchase buses that have the ramp, so it was easier for them to get in, and upgrade the app. So you can actually put in a system where they will tell you when the bus is 5 minutes away. So you don't have to go downstairs and wait in the rain or the heat until the bus, waiting for a bus that might be running late. So we have all of those features. We actually have a meeting tomorrow on implementing the bus route changes. and all of that will be launched very soon.
I have a question regarding that.
Yes.
At that meeting, can you please bring up about the buses that sit outside City Hall and they're running and spewing the fumes with the noise, that the drivers can please
So the
not
meeting
have the
tomorrow
buses
is
running?
internal with city staff. It's not
Oh,
with the
okay.
county. But we
Well-
did address that. Myra took care of that with the county, and I went by twice last week in the evening, and both times the bus was not on.
not running?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
To finish that comment, working with those route planners, the way our city is designed, with Collins Avenue being this north-south corridor and everything else being within walking distance, our CITT dollars are for first, last mile. And, you know, route planners, transportation planners who know this better than us, you know, their recommendation is that we are best served through our shuttle bus system rather than these on-demand to drive you a block or 2 blocks.
Because it wouldn't take you out of the city.
We would determine that, but
Okay.
think about when everybody's complaints are long wait times. If you're going out of the city and you're sitting in traffic in Aventura or North Miami Beach or anywhere else, I mean, think about, you know, as Mayor said, if all the high school students, if we're paying for 2 vehicles, imagine how long you're going to wait to go to ATM in that left turn lane on Biscayne and 163rd Street. You know, you're going to serve like 5 people, but we're going to be paying for that. And so that's where, you know, the cost benefit analysis was, you know, yes, everybody has it and they have more. And, you know, Freebie has a great business model because the more you offer it, once you do it, you're never taking it away, because then you're taking a service away from them. And so you just everybody wants it. The wait times, you get the complaints, I had to wait an hour, 40 minutes, that's unreasonable. So then we pay vehicles, and then we pay to add more vehicles because more people are using it. So it's a long-term financial commitment that will only increase in the future, and if that's the direction of the commission, we will gladly
Yeah.
pursue that.
But all that is hypothetical, because like you said, we are putting the boundaries. We are the ones deciding if we are going to go to ATM or not. We are deciding the one if we're going to go across the bridge to Eastern Shores or not. That depends on whatever the agreement that we do. So we are going to decide from where to where and when and how many. So everything else, and again, if it's a free service and you wanted to take it, just the lady that wants to go to the bingo and she has low mobility, so they will consider the times that they need it. So, okay, last time it took 1 hour for it to get here. Okay, now I know that if I want to use it for free, it's going to be 1 hour. So everything else that we are talking about, unless we implement it, we try it, and we see it, is hypothetical. We are just making things from our head. And I do have heard as well all these issues about the waiting time, etc. And that's why it's been very interesting to see the different vehicles that they are adding now. It's not only for one person, now they're having those kind of little small shuttles that I see in other municipalities. So my point with this conversation, and I didn't want to make it so long, is that things I have done in the past. Most people know what is my perception about when a consultant comes from Ohio to let us know what we are supposed to be doing here in Sunny Isles Beach. So we, again, are here to represent the people. The people is asking for it. They are continuously asking me the why, and this is what I'm going to be telling them, that the commission just doesn't want to do it.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right, so meeting adjourned. See you all at 6:30. Thank you.